What? In today's video, we're gonna be checking out what is probably one of the weirdest things I have ever reviewed, and the story of how this review came to be. This is the Machinewise Delta FifT, and I have 3 of them, kind of. Can I also just say that the FifT is probably the strangest name for a knife that I've seen yet? Like, no, not 50 the number, and no, not 50 the word. Fif as in F-I-F with a capital F and then a capital T at the end. No, not FifT with a lowercase t. No, no, no. FifT with a big old T as in Texas T, baby. Yeah! But before we get into that, I just wanted to give a big thanks to my incredible patrons. Your support makes each one of these videos possible. If you want to join my patrons like Mac Daddy and Merlin on the private community Discord, consider donating. Tiers start at just $3 a month, and every bit helps me reach deeper into the true mystery of love. By the way, if you happen to like the shirt that I'm wearing in the B-roll for this video, you can purchase it through the magic of capitalism. Consume product. Let's talk about this knife.
Oil. I had to do it.
Fuck. All right. Well, you know, she's thick. This is an interesting knife build-wise for sure. It's got channel titanium handles held together with pretty good standard Torx T10 hardware. I really like the channel design here. Its basic yet interesting hole pattern and overall boxy shape feels really interesting in the hand. It's on a Zen pin system, which is good as it's unlikely to lose much of this handle gap over time. Alongside it, it actually runs on bearings, which is nice. It is knife. Alongside that, it actually runs on bearings, which is nice. Bearings take some getting used to, but I like the good tolerances they provide, along with the quickness of the swing. If you don't like bearings though, it's actually just a few bucks more to have it changed over to a bushing system as well, so there's coverage for whatever you may like. Finally, the blade is made of hardened A2 tool steel, which is a perfectly good metal, though it does take some care with oiling to prevent rust over time. For $235, this thing is very well built and is a testament to how much Machinewise cares about his process. Design-wise, well, it's weird.
I'm weird.
Why can't you be normal? I have a weird affinity for how this thing looks. It's a bit huge and bulky, but it's also so far different than any major Balisong produced that I find it kind of captivating. As I said before, I don't have just one of these, I have 3. Well, kind of. I actually have 3 iterations of this thing, not 3 production models. Machinewise actually sent me one of the first prototypes a while back, and I got to give feedback on what I thought about it. As you can see, this first version is even bigger than the already huge production model. This thing has aluminum handles that were really fat with a pH. It felt chunky in the hand, but was shocking in how well it actually flipped. I had pretty low expectations, honestly, from my first unboxing, and was really impressed once I actually picked it up and put it through its paces. From there, I was sent the second prototype, and this one was much closer to the final version, though as you'll notice, it has the same weird pivot system as the first. This system was meant to be adjusted with a hex wrench and was fully custom with some interesting features, but later on, it was decided to go with a standardized Torx system in the end, which I think was a good choice. You can also see one of the very nice anodized finishes available on the second version. Machinewise says he can do a custom ano for about $15 extra on the FifT, which is pretty nice, especially for somebody looking for something a bit more unique. All in all, I hope this helps you see the interesting journey that this knife took to become what it is today. Sure, it's got a relatively simplistic design overall, but it's also really unique in the Balisong space. From the handles right down to the weird blade cutouts, I think this thing is pretty cool. By the way, have you heard about today's sponsor, Raid Shadow Legend? All right, I got my coffee. Oh, where were we? Oh yeah, flipping.
Yahoo!
Yes, that's right. As I said before, this knife flips shockingly well for how it looks. What does that mean exactly? Well, let's go a bit more in depth. This knife does absolutely take some getting used to. The large handles remind me most of my BB Barfly in terms of hand feel, which is not a bad thing by any means, but it is something to acknowledge. The balance is very slightly handle heavy, which I do like. It means that the knife is more likely to hug your fingers during chaplains as well as carry momentum through rollovers. This momentum carrying is also helped by the bearings in my opinion, making this feel very responsive during combos. Fanning wise, it's okay. I'd say not the best in class, but not bad either. The handles are large and square, so they take some getting used to for fans, and make it a bit harder to reverse the fanning direction once it's started. I will say though, it does both choker fans and ladders very well, which I think is because of these rear grips. In the same vein, complex tricks like the palm spin and parabolics work great as well. Aerial wise, this knife is one of my favorites. It has really great and predictable swing, and because of the size of the handles, I find throwing and catching it to be really fun and satisfying. But of course, this is all from my experienced flipper's perspective. To add a bit of perspective, why don't we see what Brandon has to say?
Yeah, I know. And then I told him, I was like, Mr. President, of course I can fit an entire Balisong at my butt. Yeah, I know. All right, well, thanks for talking, Mom. All right, love you. Hey guys, welcome to Brandon's Balisong Corner, where we not only talk about what I, a relatively inexperienced Balisong flipper, think of the Balisongs we review, but also silently, subconsciously, eternally, question the meaning of our existence, and if any of this is even worth it. When I saw the FifT for the first time, I was like, what the heck, why is it so big? Oh my God, why does it have arms? Oh my God, honey, get the camera. The handles on this thing are massive, but it's honestly a nice change of pace from a lot of the Balisongs that I tend to flip. I tend to like a good solid clunk whenever it comes to the sounds that my Balisongs make, and this one definitely has that. And as somebody that only has a few Balisongs in my own personal collection and still has a lot to learn when it comes to the tricks that I do, if I wanted to spend a good chunk of change on a Balisong, unfortunately, this probably wouldn't be my first choice just because the handles are so big, which makes it difficult for someone like me to transfer what I've learned to other Balisongs. And that is most of what I had scripted for the actual script, but as we were shooting the B-roll literally today, I learned that I could do way more with it than I thought I could. Like I could do chaplains way easier. I could do a lot of my flip-oos a lot more consistently than I normally can. So that was honestly really surprising, and it kind of caught me off guard.
Chaplain time. Chaplain. Oh, it's actually really easy to chaplain on this. Holy shit.
Right?
What the fuck? I've never been able to chaplain this good. I'm gonna have to change what I wrote down in my script. This is way easier than other knives. Good job, Machinewise.
So I still rest my case that this wouldn't be like my first choice, but I will admit, if I wanted to learn tricks on a Balisong, this has everything built into it that you would need. So I give it that. But if you have a lot of Balisongs like Will has and want something that changes up how you flip, I think this is a great addition to your collection. Just like my old head was a fantastic addition to Will's mantle.
So at the end of the day, I would say this thing is pretty good. For the price of 235 bucks, you're getting a channel titanium knife made in the USA, and that's pretty nice. The flipping performance is easily on par with the price, though be wary, it does take some getting used to, though I think that's honestly true for most Balisongs. Sure, this thing is weird, but that kinda is the draw for me, I think. It's something that is unique, and I think that really makes it a great addition to any collection. As for my Balisong list, I would put the Delta FifT just above my Talisong in terms of overall flippability, which is pretty good, especially for the price. Before we go, I just wanted to give a big thanks to Machinewise for sending me all this awesome stuff to review. He included handwritten notes with each one of the knives and listened to feedback on every design. Very cool. Once again, I want to give the biggest thank you of all to all of my amazing patrons. You all are really the reason I can make these videos, and I appreciate it greatly. If you'd like to support me and get your name featured on the screen here at the end of my videos, please consider donating. We have behind the scenes videos and gag reels for every video we create, as well as a private community Discord for patrons, where you can chat with me and Brandon. Tiers start at just $3 a month, and every bit helps me fund my journey to the glowing pink center of the earth. As always, don't forget to follow me on Instagram as @TheWillHirsch. I post behind the scenes on my story as well as video announcements, so that's the best place to stay up to date on what I'm doing. Also, don't forget to follow my camera guy at the Brandon Baker on Instagram as well. He posts awesome videos and photography and has played every cat in Cats the Musical production on Broadway at least once, so you can trust his experience. But that's pretty much it for the moment. Now if you'll excuse me, Brandon and I are gonna go usher in the new year with burning sage to ward off evil spirits because we're filming this on New Year's and goddamn do we need to keep this shit from happening again, don't we?